Superchargers, headlights, and more. With over 122 million parts, eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Stay on your A game with all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. See ebaymotors.com.
This is the Hall of Fame
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Live from Las Vegas, here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Oh, yeah, man. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, coming to you live from Las Vegas, MGM Grand Hotel and Casino. Oh, thanks for the accommodations, guys.
We appreciate you.
PBC, it's going down. It's going down again, guys. 2 world title fights on the card for this Saturday night. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out. As well as we're going to be celebrating 100 fights held right here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. I can't wait for that big cocktail celebration. I got to get me a cold one, man. But the main event, Gervonta Tank Davis taking on Frank the Ghost Martin, as well as David Benavidez in the co-main event. I don't want to mess this last name up. Alexander Vojde. I think that's the way it's pronounced. I'm not sure, but I just want to make sure I'm hitting on all P's and Q's. How you doing, Brad? How you feel, man?
I'm doing good, BT. You know, we're here live from Las Vegas, Nevada. It seems like we're here at least once a month now talking about a big fight.
Once a week.
Well, for
what
you,
are you talking about?
You were here 5 days ago for NXT
Battleground,
Las Vegas.
Bad.
But you know what? To me, think about 100 fights that they've had here. Now, we've been to several in Vegas and a few at the MGM Grand. The first one that we went to for this show was Keith One-Time Thurman and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Pop.
That's what I remember most from that.
The only thing I remember from that night is pop. And all the pop-pops was on the head of Keith Thurman. I'm serious, man. But I'm looking forward to this main event this week because it's been a lot of talk, man. It's been a lot of trash talk as far as Frank the Ghost Martin and his team, as well as Gervonta Tank Davis and his team. I saw Leonard Ellaby say, man, don't go get no popcorn. Don't.
He says quick.
This thing could end like boom, like that. But Frank Martin don't seem like he's stepping down in any way, shape, or form. This kid looked like he is ready to go. I mean, he's got a pretty good record, 18-0 with 12 KOs, which makes him feels like, he's ready for Tank Davis. One thing about an undefeated fighter, as well as Tank Davis is an undefeated fighter at 29-0, 27 knockouts. Undefeated fighter comes into the ring with that cloak of invincibility. He's never lost before, so he doesn't know what it feels like to lose. Neither one of these guys, so that's what's going to make this fight, I think, so intriguing. Both guys, I think, is going to be moving forward. Both guys are going to be throwing big punches, dynamite in both hands. Of course, Frank Martin, promoted by Man Down Promotions, Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence actually had a few words to say. He said, man, look, I'm not going to try to get up here and mix words with Leonard Ellaby because he's a talker. But I'm gonna tell you how it's going to go. Frank Martin going to go out there and handle his business. He's going to do his thing, and he's going to walk out and the new champion come this weekend. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. How you feel, man? How you feel?
I'm feeling great about it. To me, what makes this fight so exciting is that, yes, we've seen Gervonta Davis in this position before, fighting an undefeated fighter here in Las Vegas. He just did it against Ryan Garcia, as you pointed out. There is an interesting slant to this one that I wanted to ask you about. There's a few storylines that I think that we should pick up on, but one of them is the fact that these guys aren't strangers to each other. Now, they might have never fought in a professional boxing ring, but they have history. There's even Gervonta Davis showing footage, right, to Frank Martin of this time where they were sparring against one another for about 4 rounds, and they said things got heated, and they got into it, and Frank Martin even said that he thought they were going to have a real fist fight. He was about to take the gloves off and start throwing. There's some animosity there, but I wanted to ask you, do you think that gives you, the sparring for 4 rounds against somebody, give you any insight to them? I feel like it would help a little bit.
I think if you're a fighter, yeah. I mean, if you're one of those guys like Tank Davis who've been doing this, I think since he was like 6, 7 years old, downloading that information. Anytime you get in the ring with someone, you're going to figure a little bit of something out about them. I would think. One thing about both of these guys, even though Tank Davis turned pro well before Frank Martin did, and he was winning championships like in 2018, I think 2017. Frank Martin was still an amateur at that time, but now both of these guys are pros. But the one caveat is, they're both 29 years old. They've both been in the game for quite some time, and I'm sure guys like Tank Davis, guys like Frank Martin, they've seen each other. They've met each other somewhere along those amateur fights along the way. And trust me, this fight right here is going to come down to, I think, IQ more than anything. I think this fight is going to come down to IQ, because that's what Tank Davis is talking about. And I believe that, too. There are levels to this game. And I wonder, is Frank the Ghost Martin truly is on the level of Gervonta Tank Davis?
Well, that's what we're going to have to find out. I think that he's the heavy underdog. And do you feel like being an undefeated fighter, yes, I think that everybody can say, if you look at the people that Frank Martin has gone up against versus the people that Tank Davis has gone against, given Tank Davis's dominance against the majority of his opponents, including stopping Ryan Garcia there the last time, yes, he should be the favorite. Does that shake, though, your confidence as an undefeated fighter to see that you're such a heavy underdog?
You know what? It might, but then again, it might motivate at the same time. But you said it. Tank Davis has fought the who's who in the division. Tank Davis has been a guy that is normally looking up at his opponent, but at the end of the fight, he's looking down at him. You know what I mean? So my thing is this one right here. It's definitely going to be a good fight. Frank Martin, he is heavily underdog in this fight. That means I might go out to put a couple of dollars down on him. You know what I mean? just for general principle. Go put a couple of dollars down on the man, because he might come up. You never know. One thing about a fight, man. You always one big shot away from victory. They always talk about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. We're going to find out tonight, can Frank Martin come out and pull off the biggest, perhaps, upset in the history of the boxing game in this modern era. If that happened tonight, if Tank Davis go out tonight and then lose in grand fashion, I'm talking about like by knockout, man, that would be all over the news, man. Frank Martin, the new champion. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. We're going to find out. It's going to be live on Amazon Prime Video this Saturday, the 100th fight at the MGM Grand. Do you feel like this lives up to the billing of 100? This is the 100th fight?
Yeah. I mean, with David Benavidez on the undercard as well. I mean, not the undercard, but the co-main event. This is huge, man. As well as it's going to be just a plethora of fighters, on the card that you just do not want to miss out and get shut out on as well. I think this is truly living up to the billing. Everybody always talk about when Tank Davis steps into the square circle, it's more than just a fight. It's an event. And I feel that way, too. Every time, we step into that arena when Tank Davis is fighting, you can feel the energy in the air. You can almost, feel that electricity. You can cut it with a knife. That's how it feels when Tank Davis is stepping into that ring. In this fight right here, I really think, I wouldn't necessarily say people are looking over or looking past Frank Martin. But one thing about stepping into that square circle, man, there's only a few men who have been able to, say that they've, took that walk and stepped into that square circle and faced another man. This is gladiator stuff. And for someone like Frank Martin to be in this position, this could be that one moment in time in his life that he has to capture, because what we talk about when we talk about moments, they could be here today and they could be
gone tomorrow.
They could be gone just like that. So Frank Martin is definitely going to look to capitalize on this moment, as well as I'm not going to say he can do it, but I feel like he has the tools to step into the ring and compete at this level right here. We're going to find out on Saturday night.
We're going to have to find out. Again, you can watch that fight live on pay-per-view. There's several other things that I want to talk about in terms of this main event, especially where you think that each of these fighters' headspaces are going into such a massive fight in both of their careers. I think that it might be overselling it. I don't know. Is this the biggest moment for Tank, or was Ryan bigger?
No, this is not the biggest moment.
What would you consider his biggest moment?
Ryan Garcia, I think
felt
would
big.
have been the biggest fight just because of the hype of both of the fighters. As far as the media wealth that Ryan Garcia garners as well as Tank Davis. Both of those guys, that fight was for supremacy. Whoever won that fight was going to be pretty much the face of boxing. So yeah, I would say that was the biggest fight for Tank Davis. Is this the biggest fight for Frank Martin? By far.
This is his biggest stage, yes.
This is the biggest stage that he's ever walked upon. But there again, someone's is going to go in this fight right here. I always think about that when fighters step up, and both of the fighters are undefeated, such as Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. We saw what happened in that fight. Errol came out having that cloak of invincibility, had never lost before, and ran into some big shots. Something like that could and perhaps will happen on Saturday night. Look here. I can't wait, man. I got goosebumps right now, up and down my spine, getting ready for this one.
Yeah, and again, it is just a couple of days away around the corner. MGM, Grand Garden Arena, the 100th fight celebration in that one. And again, like you said, there's been so many great ones that we've seen. When was the first time you came to the MGM? Was it the Tyson fight?
Yeah, I think that was the first time first fight Bruce Seldon, Mike Tyson. Was the first fight I ever came to at MGM.
Yeah, and then think about how many they've had since then, and they're coming up on their 100th fight celebration. Yeah. We want to talk more about
what number that was. I'm just wondering.
It's got to be early.
Yeah, and I wonder what number.
I know. I'm saying it's got to be early in the count.
Yeah. It wasn't that far back.
It wasn't. I don't know, man. I don't even know when the MGM opened.
Joe, don't try to age me, man. You're like that's the third fight or something like that.
Don't let me look it up and find out. I'll look it up during the break. I think we're coming up on a break here shortly. Man. But don't make me look it up and see. But it's just incredible to be here and be a part of that and say, I saw the 100th fight from the MGM.
No, this is huge. For me, this is huge. This is my Frank Sinatra moment. You might be wondering what I'm talking about. Frank Sinatra was a photographer at the Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier fight back in the day. The Thriller in Manila, and for me to be able to be up close and personal with the fighters. I ran into Demetrius Johnson earlier today, and that right there, I was like, man, that good Demetrius Johnson. He goes, that's Booker T. We took a photo together. Let me send me that, whatnot. That's the cool part about being out here in the zone, man. But hey, guys, we got to take a quick break. Stick around. You're inside the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
ESPN
97.5.
Gran Centenario Tequila and football are the perfect recipe this summer. Mix 2 ounces Gran Centenario Tequila with 2 minutes of stoppage time. Stretch the field, crash the box, look off the keeper. Nutmeg optional. Shake the stadium, pour out your heart, leave it all on the pitch. Serve to friends and family and get ready for the next round. Gran Centenario, the official tequila of Copa America, the Mexico national team, and the summer of football. Gran Centenario Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume. Proximo, Jersey City, New Jersey. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly.
Celebrate Father's Day this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Introducing the Ping G430 Max 10K driver. Straighter flies farther with Ping's straightest driver yet. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinder provides you the most accurate distances in golf. Now $50 off. Shop with us this Father's Day in store or online. Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
Chastang Ford is the place to go if you're in the market for a Ford. Their professional staff will provide you with an outstanding truck buying experience. They offer competitive pricing and an extensive selection of new and used Ford vehicles. From the sales staff to the finance team, their knowledgeable and friendly staff are devoted to helping you find the perfect Ford for your needs. Chastang Ford also offers exclusive incentives and deals to get the most out of your purchase. Whether looking for a truck or SUV, Chastang Ford is the perfect place to find your dream Ford. Do you dip tobacco? Well, that's gross. Consider switching to hemp dip. John Granado here for Artisan Grange. Artisan Grange's products don't have tobacco or nicotine. They have CBD. It's a safer, cleaner, and healthier way to dip. Plus, Artisan Grange lets you choose traditional tobacco flavors or fresh new tastes like ice mint, cinnamon, or citrus. Look for their limited edition Texas cans while supplies last. Check out Artisan Grange Hemp Dip at select CBD American Shaman locations or online at 975dip.com, 975dip.com.
Where's your casino? Good news with MyBookie, it can be on your couch, in your home office, on the patio, at the kitchen island. It's wherever you want it to be. You can play real casino games on your phone, laptop, or desktop at MyBookie.ag. Their online computer games include slots, table games, Texas Hold'em, and lots more. There are tons of cool games. Or enter the live casino with real, in-the-flesh dealers on the poker, blackjack, baccarat, and roulette tables. The live casino really is next level. And you're playing from wherever you want. Just go to MyBookie.ag to get started. Click on bonuses to see all the great ways to turn your deposit into bonus cash. Whether you're new to MyBookie or you want to reload an existing customer, you can also refer a friend and get some bonus cash. Use promo code BET975. Turn your space into your casino with MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code BET975. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. With the only place I tell you to do it, it's always MyBookie.ag, promo code BET975.
This is the Hall of Fame.
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Live from Las Vegas, here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada right now, getting ready for a big fight going down this weekend. Gervonta Tank Davis taking on Frank the Ghost Martin, as well as David Benavidez in the co-main event, taking on Alexander Vozdey. Let's talk about that fight for a second. David Benavidez, the boogeyman. Everybody calls David Benavidez the boogeyman because he is one of those guys that is very, very scary to deal with. 28-0 with 24 big wins by knockout. Taking on Vozdey, who is 21-1 and 16 knockouts. One thing about Vozdey, he is a former light heavyweight champion. That's the one thing I always talk about with David Benavidez. I love David Benavidez. He's a hell of a fighter. He's one of the best in the division. He's one of the best fighters in the game, period, today. But the one thing I think about when we think about David Benavidez used to be a heavyweight, actually, and moved down in weight to fight in the division that he's in right now, which I always feel like gives David Benavidez a little bit of an advantage coming in on fight night, especially with the rehydration clause, perhaps not being in effect. Just say, for instance, you're supposed to come in at 168 and you can come in at 188. That's a huge advantage.
That's crazy.
Over the fight.
Yeah, I think and I want you to finish that point, but I also think the layman doesn't realize, the casual boxing fan or observer, they say, oh, wait, man, what do you mean? He weighed in at 160 pounds last night. That's what he was weighing in at today. But when you have those rehydration clauses, whether that be boxing or MMA, it is astounding how much water you can take in to get your weight back up to I don't know if healthy level is the right determination, but to a more normal level to where you're fighting at a heavier weight that's going to give you more punching power and more ability to stop a fight earlier. Now, it could, I guess, also work in the inverse. If you're a little bit heavier, you're a little bit slower, maybe the cardio's not as good. But
you're going to be hitting a lot harder.
You're going to be hitting a lot harder, and that's what counts, right?
No, I believe in the rehydration clause. Really, I think 10 pounds should be the limit as far as rehydrating. If you come in at 168, if you come in more than 178, you pretty much forfeit a portion of your purse or something.
Have to.
You know what I mean? Because a fighter like, David Benavidez, he always seems to be bigger. He always seems to be stronger than every fighter that he's competing against. And we're going to find out. This fight is going to be pretty much the same, as usual with David Benavidez going out there and stopping, Voice-Day and going on and continuing the campaign for Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? I don't think that, me personally, I don't think that fight is ever going to happen. And if it does happen, it's going to be someone like Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, where both of those guys are well past their prime.
Just too late.
Well, yeah, we're not going to see the best version of the fighters. I think that.
Well, to me, though, you seem to be very confident that David Benavidez is going to find himself on the sure side of this thing and on the victorious side come Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anybody beating David Benavidez anytime soon. I think the Canelo fight is the fight that people want to see, as well as I really feel like the one person that I really want to see compete against David Benavidez is Terrence Bud Crawford. I think Terrence Bud Crawford can handle the rehydration clause. I think there's some inner beef between the two fighters, just because the fight between Bud Crawford and Jose Benavidez was such a good fight all the way up until the 12th round, when Bud Crawford landed a beautiful uppercut and then went on to continue the onslaught and stop Jose Benavidez late in the 12th round. I would feel like David Benavidez would want some retribution, to want to go back and redeem his little brother. So I see that fight happening before I see a Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez.
Well, again, we will find out what's going to happen on Saturday night. Let me ask you this, going back to Ghost Martin and Tank Davis. So for Tank, he is southpaw, Frank's a southpaw as well. They're both lefty fighters. Does that change this fight whatsoever? Because, I mean, when you looked at because Ryan's a southpaw too, right?
Yeah.
Garcia.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem to dissuade Tank Davis at all in that fight. He seemed pretty comfortable with the fact that he was now looking at not a mirror image of himself, but a one-to-one comparison, both lefty dominant hands. Do you think that changes with a guy like Frank Martin?
Yeah, you know what? It might change for Frank, because Frank's probably normally used to dealing with, conventional fighters. This time he's not going to be dealing with a conventional fighter, as well as he's going to be dealing with the best fighter in the division. That's what makes it a little bit different. Of course, both guys being southpaw is going to cancel everything out. It's just like a regular guys going out there fighting from a traditional standpoint. So it's going to come down to who's going to have the better IQ, who's going to have the better footwork, who's going to have better range, who's the better fighter. That's what it's going to come down to in this fight, as well as attrition. We've seen Tank Davis on many occasions, and fighters like Mario Barrios, who's so much bigger, go out there and try to force the issue and try to push Tank around. And we haven't seen zero fighters able to go out there and push Tank Davis around. I'm talking about bully Tank Davis. We haven't seen that. So this fight right here, I don't have a lot of good feelings for Frank Martin. As far as Frank winning this fight, but on any given Sunday, man, this is on Saturday, on any given Saturday, something can happen.
Let me ask you this, because we were here for the Tim Tszyu Sebastian Fundora fight, and you were really high on Fundora, big time. You really liked Fundora. He was a major underdog at the time, and you said, "Look, this is money waiting to be picked up." Let me go place a little bet. For the first time in your Las Vegas career, you decided to place a bet on a fight.
Yep.
Do you feel like the second time is this weekend?
Well, the only reason why I don't believe in Frank Martin like I did with Sebastian Fundora. No way. But Frank is you know what? I'm going to go do a lot more research on it before Saturday, and then I'm going to make my decision on tomorrow whether I'm going to put some money down on him. But the odds are swayed so heavily towards Tank Davis. You'd be a fool if you got a couple of dollars in your pocket not to bet on Frank Martin to win this fight. So I got a feeling. I got a good feeling. So my feeling is telling me go put a couple of $100 down on Frank Martin just for the hell of it.
Something,
just
man.
for the hell of it. Yeah.
Put a little something. Now, I just want to let everybody know I've been trying to find this list of the 100 fights that have happened here at the MGM, because I want to see when you came here what fight number it was. I haven't been able to find it out yet, but I will tell you that was what, 95?
95.
95?
Yeah.
So
might have been 94.
They broke ground at the MGM Grand in October of 91. That's when they broke ground. Okay, I'm just saying. That's when they broke ground. It opened. Well, hold on. It opened December 31st, 1993, which is essentially, by the time the fight was over, it was 1994. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. I haven't found it yet.
I might have been in fight 1, is what you're saying.
You're early. I'm just going to tell you right now. I don't know which one it was, but you're early.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. It's good to be a part of history. You know, just say that. Just say that. So am I just, damn it, am I just antique, damn it?
You know, It's funny because I don't think we've talked about it since it happened. It just in the boxing world, if we want to go to another story real quick, again, we're here to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis, Frank Martin, PBC Premier Boxing Champions this Saturday night. Pay-per-view.com Prime Videos where you can get it. It's prime time, as they said last time.
Prime time.
But let me ask you about Mike. I mean, Mike and Jake Paul has been rescheduled to November.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be taking place in July. Some stomach ulcers, I believe, from Mike Tyson flared up before he's going to board a flight.
Yeah.
And it's now pushed the fight back. I ask you now, look into your tea leaves. Look at the be Bookstradamus for a moment. Does this fight still happen in November?
You know, it's going to be hard to cancel it again. You can't postpone it and then put a new date up and then cancel it. I see these guys trying to get this money. No, I'm serious. I see that more important than anything. These guys want to go out there and pick this money up. But me personally, if the fight doesn't happen, I'm not going to be mad or anything like that. I would love to see Mike Tyson in the ring just one more time, just for nostalgia purposes, if nothing else. I would love to see Mike Tyson make that walk just one more time to just, to have that feeling. How you going to tell a man? How you going to tell a man he can't go out there and throw hands just one more time? You can't do it. You know what I mean? So I would love to see that. But, on the other hand, I'm kind of glad. It got postponed. It gives Mike a little bit more time to think about this thing. Is it something he really wants to do? And more importantly, is it something that Mike Tyson need to do?
Right.
Because more importantly, I don't think Mike Tyson need to do this. I really don't think he needs the money. He got so many other revenue streams as far as making money. I just don't think that's it. But I do understand that nature of the beast, that gladiator warrior mentality. I understand that, and knowing that perhaps you may never ever do it again, and you have a chance to do it just one more. I get that, So if Mike does do it, hopefully he'll come out on the other end safe and sound. That's the only thing I wish for.
Again, and you said you were here for him versus Peter McNeely.
No, for Bruce Seldon.
Bruce Seldon. Let me find that fight real quick. Bruce Seldon was actually in 1996, September of 96, at the MGM Grand, and
so I got a little
beat him in the first round.
I got a little time.
You got a little bit. You're maybe like in the teens somewhere.
A little time,
somewhere in the teens.
Yeah.
You know what? I will say, after Mike went down and they pushed the fight back, I was curious in seeing the fight. I was like, man, Mike is back. It's Jake Paul. I don't really love Mike's chances. Just 27-year-old versus 57-year-old, 28-year-old versus 58-year-old by the time they got in the ring. It's not something that I typically wanted to see, although I love Mike. Everyone loves Mike. Nostalgia is one of the strongest drugs known to humankind. But after it got postponed, I felt like a sense of relief.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, maybe we don't have to see this. And then the idea that I was romanticizing of seeing Mike Tyson go out there and knock him out in the first round, which is what everybody wanted to see, the romance of that began to wane. And then I said, you know what? I don't even want to see this fight anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like I was excited. I was like, you know what? It's in Dallas. Let's go. That's a nice little drive, 4 hours up the road.
Isn't that what I said from the beginning?
You were consistent on it.
I was like, look, I don't want to see this. I really don't want to see this because I'm a realist. More than anything, I mean, I love, what Mike Tyson did back in the day. I'm talking about creating chaos, havoc, mayhem. It was beautiful. But like you say, Father Time waits
for no man.
For no man. So my thing is, I just did not want to see Mike Tyson go out there and something bad happen, in the middle of that square circle in front of the world. Not the greatest fighter who perhaps have ever lived. Along with, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson is definitely, truly one of the greatest fighters that ever lived, if not the greatest fighter that ever lived. I just did not want to see something bad happen to him inside that square circle.
You know what? We're going to have to find out what's going to happen in November. We'll find out what happens Saturday night as we talk more about boxing from the beautiful MGM Grand here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We appreciate for the accommodations, but we got more BT on the other side.
We appreciate you. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
ESPN
97.5.
Hi, I'm David Figueroa, co-founder of Melinda's Craft Pepper Sauces. Over 30 years ago, my brother Greg and I set out on a mission to offer the world a better hot sauce. We have the hots for fresh ingredients and flavor, and it shows in our 41 award-winning pepper sauces featuring fiery chili peppers and plant-based ingredients that you can see and taste. Set your mouth on flavor with Melinda's. Find a huge selection at Albertsons, Tom Thumb, and Randall stores. To find a retailer near you, visit melindas.com. That's melindas.com.
More and more people are choosing Sinlawn for their yards. Branham here. Why Sinlawn? Because it enhances your family's lifestyle. Sinlawn grass makes your yard the place to be. Whether your kids are playing, your dogs are running around, you're working on your putting, or friends and family are hanging outside. Sinlawn makes it all better. Sinlawn made in the USA and made to last. And the Sinlawn Texas team are absolute pros at installation. Learn more at 975sinlawn.com. That's 975synlawn.com.
8 Row Flint East End. If you're serious about whiskey, beer, and tacos, this is your place. Full bar and kitchen on the ground floor. And you have to see the awesome view of the Houston skyline from the rooftop patio. It pairs really well with cocktails and friends. Join us for weekly happy hours from 2 to 6. And don't miss Steak Night Thursdays. Located on the Harrisburg Rail Line, minutes away from all the downtown stadiums. 8 Row Flint East End. Your before and after rally point for Houston sports. 8 Row Flint East End. Come early, stay late.
Hi, this is Harold Gunn. And this is Bill Olson. Texas Outdoor News is the longest running, most award-winning outdoor radio show in the state for a lot of good reasons.
We bring you the latest news and information about hunting and fishing across our great state and beyond.
And our guests are who's who from industry, government, and the field.
Texas Outdoor News is brought to you by Ford Trucks and your best in Texas Ford dealers. Join us Saturday mornings at 6, Sunday at 7 on ESPN 97.5.
Hey guys, John Granato here with
me, Joel Blank.
Listen, if you have any screen printing, embroidery, or promotional needs, reach out to our friends at Bull Shirts.
Seriously, whether it's company or team t-shirts, polos, hats, koozies, or even a custom pop-up tent, Bull Shirts is a one-stop shop.
With over 40 years of servicing Houston, there's no job these guys can't handle. Visit their website, bull-shirts.com. Be sure to tell them we sent you. That's bull-shirts.com.
Hey, Lance Zerline here. You know I'm a numbers guy, and I like the numbers that Daspit Law Firm is putting up for their clients. The super team at Daspit Law handles a full range of personal injury cases, and they are getting results from their clients in big numbers. Car accidents, truck accidents, industrial accidents, construction accidents, maritime accidents, offshore accidents. These are all areas where if it's you or someone you know, I encourage you to get a free case review from John Daspit with the Daspit Law Firm. Call 713-CALL-NOW. That's 713-CALL-NOW.
You're listening to the Hall of Fame
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
live from Las Vegas. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Talking about a big fight going down this weekend. 2 big title fights, actually. Gervonta Tank Davis taking on Frank the Ghost Martin, as well as David Benavidez taking on Alexander Gvozdyk. I like to. That
was pretty good.
Gvozdyk. I think that Russian.
Well, there's enough consonants in there. It looks like it to me.
I had to look it up and see how it was pronounced. And the way I'm spelling it and the way he's spelling it is two totally different ways. I had to break it down. I'm serious, man. But nah, man, we coming off a big weekend. Actually, NXT here just last weekend, Battleground. And what a Battleground. I want to thank UFC Apex for hosting the event. And from what I'm hearing, I think we're going to be back.
I saw rumors on the internet.
Yeah, I heard we're going to be back at the Apex sometime later on in the year, so it'll be a lot cooler. It'll be a hell of a lot cooler, I can tell you that. But what a time at the Apex.
Yeah, I mean, and TakeOver was great. You had a couple of real marquee matches. Why don't we highlight Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez? How did you feel like that played out? And then, with Jordan Grace being the TNA Knockouts champion, coming in and having the match that she did, just kind of give me your overall thoughts on those.
I want to see. I'm gonna tell you right now. I want to give Jordan Grace her flowers. I want to see nothing but the best for Jordan Grace, and I know she's having her best run right now in TNA. But I do so want to see Jordan Grace have a full run inside the WWE, as well as WrestleMania moments. I want to see Jordan Grace get everything that she deserves, because what she did on Sunday was it was extraordinary. It really was. Her in-ring work is second to none. Let's just say that. But for her to come from her company to come to NXT to work with our NXT champion Roxanne Perez and go out there and have that kind of performance and doing it in a loss. One thing I always talk about in this business, and people that's been around me, they've heard it many, many times. Your losses has to be better than your wins.
Right.
And Jordan Grace went out there and performed at the highest level. I want to see nothing but the best for her, as well as Roxanne Perez. She's truly the prodigy, man. She's stepped into this new role, and she's embraced it, man. She has definitely come into her own. She is, for her years in this business, she is truly one of the best out there. And congratulations to Roxanne Perez and everything that she's doing right now.
She's realer than real deal Holyfield, as they say. I think Snoop Dogg said that on Nothing But a G Thing. I agree with you. I also thought the presentation from the Apex was interesting. It was a different look than what I had seen in a WWE PLE, be that NXT or anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. During the pandemic and to this day, up until I think maybe a month or so ago, they did a lot of UFC fights at the Apex. Does it have an aura about it, or does it feel kind of like, I don't know, how does it feel?
Well, I'll tell you this. When you watch, just say for instance, UFC Fight Night, everything's dark except the ring.
Right.
You can't really tell how many people are in there.
You don't even know what it looks like.
Well, you just think they're fighting in a gym.
Right.
Or something like that, or it's just a ring. But it's actually bigger than the NXT arena.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the way they set it up, they actually added more risers to it, as well as, I don't know if you noticed, with NXT, all of the crowd was shown.
Yeah, it was all lit.
It was lit.
Yeah, everything was lit.
Everything, you know what I mean? So
to the back row.
Exactly.
You saw it all.
Exactly. So it definitely had a NXT feel in it. But one thing about it, the NXT loyals, you know what I mean, they wasn't there. And you can feel the NXT loyals because, man, they bring energy, man.
Every time.
Every single time, man, they show up and they show out. Big props to everybody who, what was NXT Nation, what else we call them? Yeah.
I don't know. It's your show. What do you mean we? I just watch on TV.
Okay. But I think that's the only difference. The crowd was a little bit labored, more so than our NXT crowd.
What about Sexy Red? How'd you feel about Sexy?
Man, Sexy Red, man. She got a hell of a twerk game. Her twerking game, man, is old. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
You want to analyze it further?
No, but when you really delve deep inside. Well, excuse me. Let me rephrase that.
Back that one up. Let's scratch that. Counselor, can we remove that from the record?
Yeah, do that. But we not jump on it, but
get your thoughts together here.
We just look at the whole thing. Hell of a twerking game.
Just wanted to give a shout out. Well, it's Sexy We Trust. You know what? And it went down there from the UFC Apex. Sexy Red, for those of you who are wondering, was the host of NXT Battleground Vegas, and there you go. And apparently, the twerking game's on point. Now, in other wrestling. Well, actually, before we get there, All Ego Ethan Page.
All Ego.
Trick Willie. Trick Victory.
Yeah.
Trick with the Vic.
Uh-huh.
But what'd you think about All Ego?
All Ego did a damn good job. He did his job. Well, one thing about guys like Ethan Page, he's a veteran. He's been around this game for quite some time. He knows exactly what his job is or was that night, and that was to go out there and perform at the highest level with our NXT champion Trick Williams, our new champion Trick Williams. I always say you're not a real champion until you go out and defend it at least one. Doing it with Ethan Page, I think that was the right person to do it with. Having that veteran out there to kind of like, feel your way through it. One thing about Trick, he's still young, he's still fresh to this game, and he's still learning, no pun intended, a lot of tricks of the trade. You know what I mean? But I thought it was a good match. I can't wait to get to NXT on this Tuesday coming up, just so Trick and I could sit in the war room and put the black mask on and be interrogated and really go deep into what really makes make the wheels turn as far as a really, really good match.
So let me ask you one more thing about NXT Battleground. I still want to call them takeovers. NXT Battleground Las Vegas, are really just NXT from this week. Cody Rhodes was on the show.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was a segment. I asked you about this earlier, but I want to ask you right now. There was a segment where Cody goes up to Sean Spears, Ethan Page, who we were just talking about with Trick Williams, and Lexis King, who, by the way, was just at Reality Wrestling this last weekend and rocked it. Main event, him and Danny Limelight took on Ryan Davidson and Zilla Fatu.
That's my guy.
He's great. But Cody walks up to those three guys and says, it seems like all you are in a good place. All y'all are in a good place. Now, the one thing that's significant about all four of those guys in the shot is that most recently they were under the All Elite banner with AEW. People on the internet want to know, was that a shot at AEW, or was that saying, hey, y'all were all underutilized, now you seem to be in the right path?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a shot, and I don't think it was a.
It was definitely a reference.
It was a reference, of course, but I don't think it was a shot.
Okay.
I think it was a segment that we could not afford not to actually do, because we got all these guys here. So let's do a little something out of it, but do it from a perspective to where it got some class as well. It wasn't. Give me the right word. It wasn't underhanded or anything.
It wasn't like overtly making fun.
It wasn't like a jab at you guys or anything. But it's like, hey guys, you guys are in a good place, and boom, you guys are working. You're on the card. It's a storyline going on. Hey, it's time to put some work in. I think that's what it was about more than anything. And having Cody there, being the guy who started it all as far as AEW.
Yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be AEW without Cody Rhodes.
It was perfect. It was perfect. It was a perfect shoot more than anything.
Did you get to see Cody while you were up there, or did y'all not run into each other?
Yeah, most definitely. I talked to Cody for a minute. But Cody was busy. He was working, taking care of his business. One thing about Cody, man, he's come a long way. And one thing about him also, he's about giving back. He's cut from that same cloth as the old man, Dusty. It seems like he's doing so much work just for, those reasons as far as pleasing the old man still. So big ups to Cody Rhodes and everything he's doing.
What's the last, unilaterally loved babyface who was at the top of the card as the champion you can remember, right? Because when Roman was the baby and they were trying to push him, half the crowd didn't like him, half the crowd did. Cena, even during the heyday of his run, he got the mixed reaction. Who was the last pure babyface to have this 100% everybody behind them?
Probably Daniel Bryan.
That's actually a good one. Yeah, Daniel Bryan. Yeah, because people love D. Bryan.
Yeah, everybody loved D. Bryan, as well as he worked his ass off, to get to that position. The thing is, he deserved it as well when he got to that position. So Daniel Bryan, and what's crazy is, when you said that, immediately what made me think about Daniel Bryan was what happened at Battleground, because at one point everybody was going, yes. So I was like, man, that's Daniel Bryan. His spirit is in the building. You know what I mean? But Daniel Bryan was that pure baby face that everybody, wanted to be behind.
100%, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it was? It was just his work?
It was his work. It was. I spotted that from the beginning. I said, man, this kid is going to get over just by the way he goes out and performs. You just don't see what he does. You feel it. And sometimes you felt it a little bit too much, because I told him, I said, man, stop doing that damn drop kick off the top rope. And he ended up getting hurt doing that drop kick. But no, Daniel Bryan was that guy that made you feel everything that was going on when he was in the WWE and created that Yes movement, and what a movement it was, man. I don't think we'll see something like that for quite some time. Oh, but then again, we got the Yeet. The Yeet is over.
Yeet is over.
Over like Rover. Hey, guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
ESPN
97.5.
Where's your casino? Good news with MyBookie, it can be on your couch, in your home office, on the patio, at the kitchen island. It's wherever you want it to be. You can play real casino games on your phone, laptop, or desktop at MyBookie.ag. Their online computer games include slots, table games, Texas Hold'em, and lots more. There are tons of cool games. Or enter the live casino with real in-the-flesh dealers on the poker, blackjack, and roulette tables. The live casino really is next level, and you're playing from wherever you want. Just go to MyBookie.ag and get started. Click on bonuses to see all the great ways to turn your deposit into bonus cash, whether you're new to MyBookie or you want to reload as an existing customer. You can also refer a friend and get some bonus cash. Use promo code BET975. Turn your space into your casino with MyBookie.ag. Use promo code BET975. MyBookie.ag, promo code BET975. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Hi, this is Sean with Greenlight Offer, and I buy houses cash. Call me today at 832-779-4000. I'll buy your house for cash and pay you cash up front. I buy houses in any price range and any location in the Houston area. Do you own a house that needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying fixer-upper houses. Do you have a tenant living in your property? Not a problem. I'll buy your house with the tenant in it. Do you think your property would be difficult to sell? Easy. We provide assistance for any situation for houses in any condition. Do you want the best price for your house? Done. I'll beat any offer you have on the table. Remember, if you need cash fast, I'll pay you cash up front. Give me a call today. Sean at Greenlight Offer, buying houses. Call me at 832-779-4000. That's 832-779-4000. Call for Sean with Greenlight Offer, and I'll get your Greenlight number on your house today. Woo!
Hey listeners, the Varsity Sports Show is on Sunday mornings from 9 to 10 on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Join us as we feature all Houston, all hour. We'll talk to coaches, players, journalists, and featuring Vipe Media's Matt Malatesta to bring you the Vipe Sports Report. Start your Sunday off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show, 9 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5 Houston.
Gran Centenario Tequila and football are the perfect recipe this summer. Mix 2 ounces Gran Centenario Tequila with 2 minutes of stoppage time. Stretch the field, crash the box, look off the keeper. Nutmeg optional. Shake the stadium, pour out your heart, leave it all on the pitch. Serve to friends and family, and get ready for the next round. Gran Centenario, the official tequila of Copa America, the Mexico national team, and the summer of football. Gran Centenario Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume. Proximo, Jersey City, New Jersey. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly.
This is the Hall of Fame.
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Live from Las Vegas, here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We're coming to you live from the MGM McGregor Hotel and Casino, getting ready for the big fight going down this weekend. Actually, 2 world title fights on the card. Gervonta Tank Davis taking on Frank the Ghost Martin, as well as David Benavidez taking on Alexander Vorjde. So, guys, I am...
Give that to me one more time.
Alexander Vorjde. You got to say it quick. You got to say it quick like that because you don't know exactly what you're saying.
You don't know what you're saying.
You say it quick enough, it sounds right. That's the
way we had back in the day somebody come into reality wrestling. I can't remember his name, but I remember I was so unsure of how to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he came out, and I'm like, and his opponent, oh yeah!
Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't know what I said, but I just try to get it all. Just some vowels. You know what I mean? Let me just hit some vowels. Ah yeah! let me ask you this.
Oh man!
Because we are here in Las Vegas, 2 weeks from Saturday, supposed to be a massive UFC fight. UFC 303, McGregor, Michael Chandler. All the talk, even to this very minute, has been that the fight is in jeopardy, and now it's leaning to most likely not going to happen. Now, why? We're not sure. Is there an injury? Is there cold feet? Is there? We don't know. We don't know what the issue is. But on the onset, when you hear that the potentiality of Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor is off, how does that make you feel?
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. Just because I wanted to see the fight, just like everybody else has been wanting to see this fight ever since The Ultimate Fighter, where it was, Coach Chandler and Coach Conor. It was a lot of beef, and normally, after, you have those long beefs, during the Ultimate Fighter, it culminates in, you two guys going out there and mixing it up. One thing about this thing, Conor McGregor is coming off, a devastating injury. The most devastating injury in his career by far.
And one of the most, I think, devastating that you could probably have in MMA.
No doubt. And one thing I talk about with professional wrestling, and I think it applies to football, basketball, track and field, golf, as well as mixed martial arts. Time off is your worst enemy.
Yeah.
There's no way you can go in there and recreate, create, real time fighting, after coming off an injury like that. You're going to be reluctant. I don't care how well it was put back together. I don't care how surgically repaired the doctor, put it back together. I really don't care about that. You're still going to be so reluctant in your head to really throw that kick the way you did it once upon a time, especially the way you did it. Especially after getting it snapped the way it snapped. People say, the leg perhaps was compromised going into the fight. Conor McGregor, it didn't really seem like he did anything for the leg to break. He took a step and it broke. But let's take it to the account how many times he got kicked.
Yeah.
Not him kicking someone, but him getting kicked. Dustin Poirier caught him with a really beautiful low kick right around that ankle right before it snapped. So my thing is Conor McGregor prepared to go in the ring just like that Conor McGregor we saw on the Rise? That dude was willing to die. He was willing to go out there and do whatever it took to win in the middle of that octagon. Are we looking at the same Conor McGregor? The guy that show up in a Bentley in a nice suit, you know what I mean, got more money than, he's ever going to be able to spend in this lifetime. Are we looking at the same Conor McGregor? Did Conor McGregor really think he could win that fight? Right. I think that's one of the questions everybody needs to really be asking themselves. Did Conor McGregor really think he had the tools to beat Michael Chandler? Me personally, the bravado of Conor McGregor may have thought that, but him actually stepping inside that ring, I think that's a totally different thing just because of the time off, the inaccuracy. Conor McGregor coming back and fighting a lesser fighter than Michael Chandler, I think that would have been wise, but that's not Conor's modus operandi.
No, it's not. He normally goes for top guys. That's one thing you can always give him. I mean, you can maybe give or take Cowboy Cerrone, but he normally will take whoever they throw in front of him, which is to his credit. Now, when you talk about his leg, I agree with you. You can have the best surgeon in the world. You can go through all the rehab that you can do. You could take your calcium pills every day and everything that you can to help that bone grow back. But think of it like this can of Rockstar, right? If I smash that can of Rockstar flat, and then I spend a lot of time pulling that can back out, getting all the dents out of it, making it look just like it does right now, the question is, does it have the same integrity that it did before? It does not.
No.
It doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't matter if it can get around it. It doesn't matter if it can still hold the liquid that's in it right now. The integrity of the can is gone, and that's what we have to think about with the leg. And what does that mean? That means that's a primary target for whoever you're fighting. Now, go back to this fight being potentially off. I think that Conor McGregor's coming off of, I think, when was that Poirier fight? Was it 21?
I think so.
2021? He's coming off of that fight.
3 years.
3 years. Since then, he hasn't been active in any sport. The only thing he's done is the movie, right? Roadhouse is the only thing I've seen him do other than his normal liquor promotions.
And he was way overweight for that.
Yeah, he was big. He got big for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to also think of what that does to your body. But anyway, he's coming off of that, and we've seen him not treating himself perhaps the best. Now, some people say like Dana White, and I think this is Dana White just spinning it because he's a promoter. He's saying, well, look, Conor's the best mental warfare there's ever been in the UFC. He's going to show you videos of him partying in the club to make you think that he's not really taking this fight seriously. Now, that's a spin. Is some of that accurate? Perhaps. I don't know. Could it help? Sure. But do we think that Conor McGregor was in the right mindset and 100% ready for this fight? I think the truth is no, because it's looking like it's not going to happen. And now, could that have been an injury?
Well,
we don't know.
I can tell you this. The fight is not up in the air because of Michael Chandler.
No, Chandler's ready to go.
So I think that pretty much speaks volume right there. That pretty much says everything for me. Conor McGregor's not ready for this fight. Even though Conor McGregor's always had success with, fighters like a Michael Chandler, being a smaller fighter. Chandler normally would be swimming upstream fighting against Conor McGregor, but I just don't think this is the same Conor McGregor that fought, the Jose Aldos of the world, back in the day. I just don't believe that.
So this is coming from Ariel Helwani, who's been reporting on this story. This is about an hour ago. So right when we came on the air, this came out. He said they have a new main event lined up that doesn't include McGregor and Chandler. This is what he's saying right now. The consensus seems that they want to wait to announce it all. The new date for Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler in August or September has been discussed, and they would likely mean creating a new pay-per-view dates those months, blah, 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 blah. So hence the delay, lots of moving parts. No talk, by the way, has centered around Chandler fighting someone else at 303. Yeah. That was once discussed at the beginning, but now it doesn't make sense. So, it's all but waiting for the announcement.
It's a big debacle. More than anything, and Chandler would be smart to wait for Conor McGregor opposed to going out there and fighting anybody before that fight, just because Michael Chandler is prone to going out there and fighting a good fight, but not coming out on the winning end.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about that earlier, because even his performances in title fights against Charles Oliveira, and there was another one recently that I was going to highlight. As far as Michael Chandler, he goes out there, man, 100%. There is no delay in Michael Chandler. He's 0 to 100 as soon as he gets in the octagon and can put on really great performances, but he seems to, like you said, come up on the shy end of the things. And for him, I actually hurt for him more than anybody else. Because if Michael Chandler, let's say his career ends in the UFC and he never gets this Conor McGregor fight, which could happen, right?
Yeah.
That would have been the biggest payday of his career. Do you remember when you used to say it on this show, get your red thing on, girl, right?
Yeah.
And Conor McGregor used to say something about similar, right?
Yeah.
This is red underwear night, is essentially what he'd say. That's a real thing. I mean, we could talk about his ability inside the octagon and what he has left in the tank, but Conor McGregor does bring box office. He brings cash. He brings controversy. He brings eyes and attention to the sport, which makes more people buy the pay-per-views and sell out the buildings. This gate was already the biggest in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
Not just UFC, but UFC is the biggest company, the biggest in the history of the sport, right?
Yeah.
And Michael Chandler's going to get a piece of that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what he's thinking right now?
Yeah.
Man.
He's one that, Conor, you need to get your ass to this arena, and we need to get this done. Yeah, man. It's a lot of money on the table. Like I say, for Michael Chandler, this is the biggest fight of his career, biggest payday of his career in his lifetime in combat fighting. It's a big loss for Michael Chandler. But like I say, him sticking around, waiting on it to happen will be the smartest thing for him, because I do feel like Conor McGregor is going to fight. I just don't think he's ready to do it right now. I just don't think he's prepared to do it right now. More than anything, Conor's he's not a quitter. He's not a guy that's going to shy away from a fight or anything like that. Conor has been very gracious in defeat, so
he has been.
I don't think that's the problem or anything like
that's
that.
A good point.
But I do really believe, honestly, in my heart, that Conor McGregor is not physically as well as mentally prepared to go inside that octagon and fight, 100%. I just don't think he's ready for it.
So you're saying he's having more of a crisis of confidence than anything else?
I think so. I think it's time to get back in the the dungeon, get back like I say, put the black mask on, interrogate himself, ask those hard questions. Man, what do we got to do? And whatever we got to do, we got to get it done. Hey man, we got to get up out of here. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today. Get your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, man. But Brad, all the heavy lifting, man. We appreciate you. And all you guys, man, again, man, we love you. But right now, peace. We about this mug.
ESPN 97.5.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
You are so obsessed with betting. I don't need to bet.
You're adamant that you're going to win, and I'm adamant that they're not going to win.
But why does money have to be exchanged?
You're a realist.
Like he believes it, you believe it.
Why is that? Well, that's no fun in that.
It's a conversation that you can have, and then Monday it's just like, I told you so. I mean, that's verbal currency.
There's nothing fun there.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.